Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 10 of season 6 of the F1 2020 My Team career mode, where today we're here back ready for the British Grand Prix. Obviously guys, if you guys did miss out on the last race from Austria, definitely recommend going back and checking that one out. It was an absolute worldie from the Austrian Grand Prix. There's some big surprises heading into that one. I won't leave any spoilers for just another moment. But yeah, heading though to the British Grand Prix this weekend, I think we can see Ferrari have brought some really big upgrades in over the last couple of weeks there. That must be how they were able to pick up George Russell into the team there. You can see currently ranked as the second best team in the world of Formula 1 there. So they still theoretically have a better car than ourselves. We might have a look actually. Can we get any more upgrades on the car as we head into this weekend? I think there might be a couple more little aero and chassis upgrades we'll do. We'll do the rear wing outer strakes upgrade. That should be done ready for the next Grand Prix. And then we'll also do the roll dampers upgrade as well there. So a couple of little ones on the car though. We've only got the one more on the engine side of things. The exhaust engine power upgrade as well. We'll see if we can get that one in ready for the Belgian Grand Prix as well there, of course, for next time out. But yeah, Britain, though, this time round, obviously a track the AI are very good at. We need to bring some big upgrades to the car. Championship-wise, though, it's all heating up, though. 6 points separate myself and George Russell in Ferrari at the moment there, as we're still second, sat behind Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship as well there. Weird that Mercedes are leading the Constructors, and now neither of their drivers are above P7 in the Championship there. 1 point separate Gasly, Kvyat, Leclerc, and Hamilton in the Championship as well. There is a lot to play for at this stage of the year. But let's dive in then, ready for the British Grand Prix. Here we are then, heading out for qualifying for the British Grand Prix. Then obviously back at our home event here in Silverstone. It's a very tricky track conditions though at the moment. You can see the track looks dry on paper, but it is still definitely inters at this stage of the day there. We might get dry running for Q3, but we're going to be able to try and go for a double run in this session here. I think we're going to be looking at towards the 129s at the end of this session there, as the back end just gets really loose through the first couple of turns. Not too bad a run though through there. Kind of seems mad on intermediate tyres, the fact we're running times that would have been pretty competitive sort of 10 years ago in bone dry. Goes to show just the grip and speed of these Formula 1 cars at the moment. But yeah, like I said, we'll do one run and then we have got enough in the car to go for another. Right, heading down in towards Maggotts and Beckett's then. In qualifying trim, not quite the same as in the dry, but certainly do feel on the absolute edge of your seat there. DRS has actually been enabled, so I wonder if we're going to see anyone gamble it on a set of dries right at the end of the session there. I'm looking on the minimap. I don't think people are going to have enough time there, but I think we might have completely messed this up as we head in towards the final couple of corners of this lap there. I think the track's getting a bit too dry now for these intermediate rubber there, so it was very close to the cutoff there. You can see we've got a lot of grip through the corners, but it's just sliding around us. I think we're overheating the rear, so let's look at that through the final couple of turns. We've completely messed up qualifying here for the British Grand Prix, 2 seconds off, and surely, yeah, there's going to be no way we can improve now, as, yeah, that's going to be a bit impossible. So you can see there when all is done and dusted, wasn't quick enough for the dries apparently, but still people were, well, they didn't find any more time in the second runs, but it definitely got far too dry for the intermediates to be effective there. But it is Charles Leclerc fastest at the end of Q2 for the British Grand Prix. Luca Ghiotto with a 100% win rate in Formula 1 in P4 there at the end of the session. They're both Ferraris as well, sneaking through into Q3. But yeah, top 10 separated by half a second in the end there. We start P16 though. I'm probably just going to lob a whole fresh engine in the back of the car and start from the rear of the field there. We might as well at this stage of the year. So many big power tracks coming up. Not what we needed though here in Silverstone.
Welcome along then to Great Britain and the Great Silverstone Circuit for today's Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of the Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Luca Giotto lines up on pole position, with Pierre Gasly alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Fiat, Leclerc, Lance Stroll and Hamilton, Albon, Russell, Verstappen and Esteban Ocon, Norris, Sainz, Sergio Perez and Raikkonen, Joe, Giovinazzi, Jordan King and Nobuharu Matsushita, Magnussen, De Vries, Latifi and Mr. Monaco. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
Well, qualifying wasn't exactly the way we wanted it to go at the end of the day yesterday, but with a fresh engine in the back of the car, hopefully we can be quick over the course of the British Grand Prix here today there. Not the best engine in the world, but a whole fresh one nonetheless is going to give us maximum power ready for this race. Looking like a dry day here at Silverstone there. Soft to medium strategy as well are pretty simple. I'm actually going to change that up. We'll go the inverse of that to try and give us a little bit of an advantage towards the end of the race there. Hopefully then we can come through strong in the latter stages. Maybe if we get a well-timed safety car as well, that can play into our hand as well. But George Russell only starts P8. Luca Giotto seems to have found even more confidence after last weekend then. Now starting from pole position in just his second ever Formula 1 Grand Prix there. But waiting on the 5 red lights here at Silverstone. It is 5 red lights and it's lights out. And away we go here for the British Grand Prix. Latifi gets off to a rocket ship start as we head down towards turn 1 there. It's there 4 wide momentarily in towards the first corner. Magnussen, no idea why he was doing so slow through turn 1, but we do get around the outside of the Haas driver here. Can we have a look past Matsushita as well as we head through the twisty technical sector 1 of the lap there. We need to try and make up moves nice and early on these back marker cars there, as Latifi's made a really good start up the inside of Nick De Vries he goes as we head out onto the back straightaway here. And can we have a look past the pair of them? 3 wide as we head down in towards Brooklands there. Luckily it's wide enough for all 3 of us. We do sneak up the inside and up now into 18th place off the start of the Grand Prix there. We've got Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen battling just up the road there, as well as Guan Yu Zhou involved in that one. Jordan King just waiting in the wings, seeing if he can make a move work there, as Raikkonen and Zhou side by side through the old turn 1 there. But Zhou round the outside does hold on to it ahead of Kimi Raikkonen there, the experienced Finn, learning when to back out of a move there as we head through Maggott and Beckett. Can we try and get a good run out onto the back straight? Yes, we can there. Down the hanger straight we go. Jordan King is going to be very, very easily dispatched of maybe Giovinazzi as well there as we dart between the pair of them. Up the inside of Giovinazzi there, a very, very aggressive move as we head down through Sector 3 there. But a good little start to the British Grand Prix. Exactly what we needed here as Luca Giotto leads the way at the end of lap 1 there. Got a big advantage over Pierre Gasly just behind him there, both the AlphaTauris in P2 and P3 there. But yeah, now we need to get our head down, focus and try and make more progress. So difficult to stick with cars in front of you here around Silverstone. You can see we've got a big train of cars as both McLarens going side by side through the first sector there. Sainz and Norris battling out for P10 in this Grand Prix, but can we get a run on Kimi Raikkonen as we head out of Brooklands, or down in towards Brooklands, sorry, even I should say, in this Grand Prix. We think about having a look around the outside, but just not enough grip there. We might try it through the next corner though. Around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen, can we find the grip on the exit there? The Finn again gives us the room, gives us the racing respect off the exit of the corner there, but does slot in just in front of us. So as we head now back down in towards the old turn 1, down 1 gear to try and get the power on the exit of the corner there. And we might have a look up the inside. No, Raikkonen just used a little bit more of his overtake mode through there that time round. Hopefully we can try and slingshot ourselves out onto the hanger straight. Oh, a lot of grass pickup on the exit of the corner there, and that's unfortunately going to cost us a run as Perez and Zhou now going side by side as we head down in towards the final sector of the lap there. It's all just Constantina and up at this stage of the day there, and this might allow us an opportunity to have a look up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen, slotting up the inside. The Finn spots us there, and we do now move up into P15 of this race. There we go, Charles Leclerc, only 6.4 ahead of us at this stage of the day. Really hasn't had the impact that I'd hoped he would early on this year, but has been pretty consistent nonetheless, as we're now trying to have a look past Guan Yu Zhou in this Grand Prix once more. And we try and have a look as we head down the Wellington Straight here. You can see just getting the DRS off Perez is Guan there, so can't really do anything this time around. As all we think about having a look at the inside in towards the next corner there, just nowhere to find the room on him. We've just got to think though, obviously long term, we're going to have so much more grip than these guys in the second half of this race. We need to try and make progress where we can, but it's also not worth taking any major risks at this stage of the day. They're running a little bit wide through the old turn 1 though. That's going to get us our first warning of the day. Not quite what we wanted there. Right, come on then, we've got to get a run on Guan Yu Zhou this time around as we head down the hangar straight. We seem to be able to get really close in towards the braking zone there, but just not a big enough braking zone to go for anything on the young Chinese driver. Up the inside in towards the final couple of corners though. Thank you very much. We'll take him by surprise there, and we'll move up another spot in this Grand Prix. Next up then, Sergio Perez is, we're really not making the inroads I'd hoped for, and you can see the gap up towards the front guys really opening up. Let's have a look then, see what the pace is like in comparison to the Renault there. Of course, the Renault and the Red Bull not as fast as the Racing Point down the straights there, so theoretically we should be a bit quicker and able to get a bit closer to Sergio Perez than we were able to Guan Yu Zhou. But as we head through the final couple of corners though, Perez, still obviously an undeniable talent. Jeff's just moaning on the radio at me that we need to try and get past him, but it's much easier said than done at this stage of the day, that we just don't have the grip through the old turn 1 there to try and get close enough. You can see Perez boosting on the way out of the corner. So as we head up in towards Maggots and Beckett's once more, we just lose that little bit of ground beforehand and just can't gain it again on the exit. Perez though might have got a run on Esteban Ocon this time around there as Guan Yu Zhou gets a little bit closer to me. There's more battling going on up the road there. I think, is that Lance Stroll, I want to say? And one of the McLarens there. So Stroll going backwards in this race as we pick up our second warning of the day. Not quite what we need. We've got Carlos and Lance really battling out through the first couple of corners there, and this is hopefully going to allow us all just to bunch up a little bit more there. Look at that, I think Sainz has pulled off the move. No, he hasn't. Stroll's still having a look there as we go right around the outside of Sergio Perez. They're clean around the outside through turn 4, so a cheeky little move from ourselves there, but that's exactly what we need. Is look at that, 3 wide from the McLarens and Lance Stroll there. Surely, who is going to come out on top in this situation there? I think it is Carlos Sainz as Ocon just sat napping behind him there, trying to watch this battle unfold. Can we have a look past Esteban Ocon as well in this Grand Prix? We've got Perez trying to come back at us once more here. This is just overtaking chaos at this stage of the British Grand Prix there, as we hold it right around the outside of Sergio there. So a good little move to hold on to the position for ourselves. But can we now try and get a bit of a run on Esteban Ocon? Not with lines like that, we're not going to be able to. Perez tries to have a look back past us again. Oh, huge amount of contact between myself and Sergio. How on earth did we hold on to that one there? I think we were just giving him a bigger squeeze than I had previously intended to. There is up the inside we go of Sergio Perez and back up into P13. That could have very, very easily been car out of this Grand Prix. Walk on, very, very slow, back down through turn 1 and turn 2. Up the inside we go with the Red Bull. That's going to be another little move done in this British Grand Prix there. Now, can we try and get past one of our homeboys, Lando Norris? They've not really had the best race so far, but we need to really try and get past this pack of cars. Ready for the pit window. Oh, look at that big run up in towards Maggots and Beckett's as Lando Norris and I side by side. Round the outside we go, and we do make the move work. Wasn't expecting quite to get the run on the McLaren up through there, but we pulled it off, and that was a very, very brave move. Up into the 11th place then of the Grand Prix. We've got a few of the front runners starting to peel into the pits there. Luca Giotto, one of the AlphaTauris, one of the Red Bulls and Ferraris as well there. So that leaves just our teammate, whichever the AlphaTauris hasn't pit there, and I think Lewis Hamilton's still out in this Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz just in front as well into the pits. So we are going to move ourselves up nicely up into about 5th or 6th place here. Yeah, 6th place then in the Grand Prix. We've got yellow flags out. Is someone going to retire from this race? I think it's Sergio Perez who might be put to the wayside here, and this could work out beautifully for all the guys that are in the pit lane here. No, it will be us that make the huge gains in this one. If there's a safety car now, of course, we'll be able to get basically a free pit stop here as Raikkonen out of the Grand Prix, and that is going to be a full safety car. Can we get a set of softs to the end of the race? Surely we're gonna have to try it. There we go. Charles Leclerc at the road is into the pit lane, as well as of course all the other front runners there. But we are also going to dive it in just behind Lance Stroll in this race. Make sure we get it slowed down nice and tidy into the pit lane. Don't need any unnecessary penalties here. We've got a lifeline in this Grand Prix to try and move ourselves up the order here. And maybe, just maybe now, we can really be trying to battle out for the points here. If we can try and take some points out of George Russell, of course, that is the main aim there, as the Ferrari man even, I should say. Just heads back out of the pit lane there, gets ahead of a couple of other people here. Are we going to get held, though, in the stop? The team aren't quite ready, as Charles Leclerc, of course, has just dived it in. 4 seconds, though. We come out inside Lance Stroll in this Grand Prix, but I don't think we've lost anything in the process of all this. We're going to make some gains on all the other guys we were battling with as well there, as Lance Stroll heads back at the pit lane. Can we get out ahead of the McLaren of Carlos Sainz? Yes, we have. So we are up a couple of places, then up into 10th in this Grand Prix. But of course, we're going to have softer rubber than the rest of the field right the way through to the end of this race. And of course, the field's going to be bunched up. So with just under half the race to go then, it is about to be green flag racing here once again from Silverstone. We've got one of the Alpha Tauri's in the lead there. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that is Pierre Gasly. They're ahead of Giotto and Lewis Hamilton here. Charles Leclerc, through all that, is up into P4 of the Grand Prix. But are we going to be able to make more progress in the second half of this race? We've got one of our title rivals, Lance Stroll, just in front of us. George Russell not too far up the road as well. They're very, very cold rubber as we head out of the final corner. But it is green flag racing once again here from Silverstone, and we need to try and make progress in the second half of this race in the same way we did in the first, by being aggressive. Obviously now we've got quicker rubber than the guys in front of us. Hopefully we'll be able to find a bit more grip through the twisty bits. Let's head back through Maggott and Beckett's then. This should be where we see the extra grip come into effect there, as we're going to get a nice run on Lance Stroll off the exit of the corner there. Of course, no DRS just yet once more in this Grand Prix. Verstappen, though, having a look on his teammate George Russell at this stage of the day there. So Verstappen is going to slip up the inside. So now, top 3 in the championship, 8th, 9th and 10th here in the British Grand Prix. Stroll's going to go defensive, and that's going to open the door around the outside. And we're going to take that, thank you very much. No second chances there, as we now move up into P9 of the Grand Prix there. But Stroll's going to come back at us as we head down towards turn 1 there. We'll push him towards the inside wall there, not too aggressively, and sweep in through turn 1 there. 100% confidence, 100% bravery that Stroll would bail out. And now then, our main title rival, George Russell here, 6 points ahead of us as we head into the British Grand Prix. We have a chance here for the first time all year to take the lead of the Drivers' World Championship, if we can get ahead of him and make up a couple more spots. Heading back down the old start-finish straight here as we head on lap 16. Can we try and get a run on George Russell there? We had a look around the outside, but nothing working there. Team want us to pit again in this Grand Prix. Not too sure that's going to be the way to get to the end of the race there. But as we head back through Maggott and Beckett's once more, obviously this is going to be the last lap without any DRS there, but Russell's got no slipstream. Verstappen has romped away ahead of him, and we're going to have a pretty clean move up the inside of George Russell there. No defending from the Ferrari man. He must have issues in this Grand Prix to have lost that much to his teammate Max Verstappen in this little time here. But we are now up into 8th. Making big gains on Max Verstappen as we head down the hangar straight there. You can see we took about half a second out of him down that straightaway that time round. So Verstappen, yeah, without any DRS from the guys in front, really struggling to keep us behind at this stage of the day there. Surely it's a matter of time before we're able to sneak past the other Ferrari and up into 7th here. But the gap to the guys in front is about 2.5, 3 seconds here. Going to be very difficult to make much more progress than that. Right, we need to stick close to Verstappen through this next section of corners there as well, using all the curb back through all turn 1 here. Now, yeah, like I said, we need to get this absolutely nailed this time around. Down the 1 gear, down the 2nd, down into 5th there as you short shift back up to 6th on the exit, trying to take as much curb as you possibly can. And surely now, this is going to be a done deal. Max Verstappen at this stage of the day there, getting the other Ferrari, not even putting up a fight as we get clean in front of him before the braking zone there. And up into P7 of the British Grand Prix, the Red Bull of Albon just 2 seconds up the road. Is there still more to be had here with 7 laps to go? 5 laps to go then here from Silverstone. The gap's got down to about 1.5, but it just doesn't seem to be coming down much more at this stage of the day there. Unfortunately, obviously these guys were gaining so much through the corners, and then just Albon gains it all back again through the straightaways there, so not really what we need at this stage. Russell has actually got past Verstappen at this stage of the day there, so I don't know if there's a bit of Ferrari get him out of the way for the Drivers' Championship. Not really too sure what would happen. Fangio managed to win championship switching teams mid-year, didn't he? But no one's ever done it since, I don't think. 3 to go, and Ocon now having Albon even, having a bit of a look past our teammate Charles Leclerc there. Has he just pulled off the move straight away? Charles Leclerc is going to try and defend from him. Hopefully this can bring us a bit closer to the pair of them here and maybe give us a lifeline in this Grand Prix. They're still side by side as they head through the final couple of corners there. Albon, I think he has pulled off the move. No. Charles Leclerc not wanting to give up as they head back down through turn 1 there, and Charles Leclerc does eventually have to bail out. And that is going to bring us really close to the pair of them here. Yeah, like we said, with less than 3 laps to go of this Grand Prix. Could we end up in a battle with our teammate? Right, come on then, 2 to go. All over the back now of our teammate Charles Leclerc is going to get a big old run through turn 1 there. Can we have a look up the inside in towards turn 3? Oh, there's some big contact between myself and our teammate there. I would have thought he would have seen us coming in that situation there, but no. But we do make the move work. We do both come out the other side there. I don't think Charles Leclerc got any damage from that either. But yeah, very aggressive move. Like I said, I thought he'd just sort of spot us there on the inside, and it was certainly a bit of a dive bomb at this late stage of the Grand Prix. But has it now enabled us? Albon, of course, now with no DRS. Can we, if we stay close enough, maybe get a run on him in towards the final lap of the Grand Prix? It is Danny Kvyat who currently leads the way there. Of course, this could be the 3rd driver in 3 races to win their very first Formula 1 Grand Prix there. Obviously, Kvyat, in the real world or in this hypothetical universe, yeah, has not won a Formula 1 Grand Prix just yet there as we head out onto the Hangar Straight for the penultimate time. Are we going to be able to get close enough to Alexander Albon to try and go for something here as we head down in towards the final sector? Yes, we are. Up the inside we go. Oh, Albon tried to turn in on me again there, so 2 cars in a lap trying to turn in on us, but we do make the move work, and we're up into P5 of the British Grand Prix here. But yeah, let's ride on board then for the final lap here from Silverstone. Are we potentially going to see these guys try and come back at us as we head back down through the first couple of sectors here? Kvyat really soaking up the pressure at this stage of the day there. AlphaTauri, of course, only won the 1 Grand Prix so far this year, and that was all the way back in round 2 in Bahrain there, so really hasn't been their season since then. But this could be a big opportunity for them to make up some big points here. Mercedes as well are going to romp away from us in the Constructors' Championship as well here. But Kvyat, he is going side by side there with Luca Giotto. Giotto wants to maintain his 100% win record in Formula 1 so far. That is a ridiculous stat to come up with as well. And I think, yeah, look at that, Kvyat down to P3 there. I think there's been contact. I think Kvyat might have lost out there massively. And it's a Mercedes 1-2 out of nowhere here in Silverstone. So more last lap drama in Formula 1 in the British Grand Prix that I don't now know who is leading here. Is it Giotto? Is it Lewis Hamilton here? Is Giotto about to get his 2nd race victory in a row there? Gasly now over to P3 there. So Kvyat's gone from leading the race to down to 4th on the final lap here of the British Grand Prix. But heading down in towards the final sector, Albon isn't able to get close enough to us here unless he can get a run in towards the final couple of corners. Albon's going to look for it around the outside there, but we're late enough on the brakes. Giotto has a 5-second penalty, so Giotto's completely thrown away the race victory there. Hamilton wins at home with Kvyat P2 and Gasly 3rd.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
and I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. That lead at the top of the table has shrunk somewhat today. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the British Grand Prix, and Lewis Hamilton picking up a historic race victory here at Silverstone. I don't even know how many times now he's won around this circuit there. Gasly comes through for P2 in the end, ahead of Danny Kvyat there. Heartbreak for Paul Kvyat there. Was leading, like we said, until the very last lap there. Contact with Giotto, who got a 5-second penalty. At least Daniel still gets a podium there. So Giotto finished 38 thousandths of a second behind Hamilton on the road there, so didn't even maintain the race win on the road as well there. But to be honest, I think for us last to P5, we would have probably only come P5 anyway in this one. Just AlphaTauri and Mercedes, so much better power units at the moment. Nothing we can really do against those guys there. Albon in 6th ahead of Charles Leclerc, and then both Ferraris 8th and 9th, with Lance Stroll still picking up another vital championship point at this stage of the year there. You can see the rest of your running order in the end, with Raikkonen the only man not to make it to the checkered flag there. Means championship-wise, tied at the top now between myself and George Russell. Hamilton up into P3 makes it a British 1-2-3 in the championship there. 6 points clear of Pierre Gasly there. Kvyat down into 5th ahead of Lance Stroll there, who drops all the way down to 6th place there. Very, very disappointed day for him, but still a lot to play for at this stage of the year there. Charles Leclerc in P7 ahead of both Red Bulls. They're 8th and 9th there, with Verstappen down in P10. But I mean, looking at it, I think you could argue 7 drivers still within a shot of the World Championship with just 6 races to go of the year there. Any other movers championship-wise there? I guess Luca Giotto makes more big gains on that little cluster of cars just in front of him there. I think really he's going to finish P8 or worse come the end of the year. They're looking so strong in that Mercedes there. Constructors-wise, though, like we said, Mercedes do pull out a bit ahead of ourselves and AlphaTauri. They're 42 now, the gap to them at the top of your standings there. AlphaTauri just 14 behind ourselves there, as Ferrari further extend their gap over McLaren as well in the championship there. I think they could really be looking to threaten Red Bull and maybe Racing Point come the end of the year there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back ready next time round. Round 11 of the year. 6 races to go with F1 2020, my team. We head to the Belgian Grand Prix. You guys do not want to miss it. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.